It's a beautiful Monday morning and welcome to Daybreak Africa on KAFTAN television. My name is Miracle Odunayo.
And my name is Ayodeji. Good morning and welcome once again to Daybreak Africa.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. New week, new me. Alright, welcome back to the show. If just joined us, it's still Daybreak Africa, and yes, it's time to go straight to our discussions for today. Today on Daybreak Africa, I'll be looking at a very sensitive topic. As we all know, I was saying it was in the introduction about some things that is happening in the political space of Nigeria. Now, if you look at the political space of Nigeria, you'll discover recently that the coalition has emerged. We saw the ADC meeting last week at the Yaradua Center in Abuja, and it's witnessed some of the big wigs in Nigerian politics talking about Ralph Aregbesola, Rotimi Amechi, former Senate President David Mark. We saw Atiku Abubakar, who happens to be a presidential candidate on multiple occasions. We saw the obedient favorite, who happens to be the Peter Obi, and some few, Emeka Hedio and all that, forming a coalition under the ADC and looking towards the fact that they want to, unseat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu come 2027. And we saw that the mastermind of this coalition actually happens to be Nasser El-Rufai, Malam Nasser El-Rufai, who happens to be the former governor of Kaduna State. Now, looking at this coalition, we are today looking at their emergence and what it's going to be the implication on President Tinubu's bid for a second term in 2027. To discuss with us today, we have with us our guest, who is an astute politician. He was formerly a councillor in Akure South, Ondo State. He was an executive director in NDDC at a particular time. He used to be an ex-SSA to a body actually in Ondo State here, and he's currently a PhD student at the Gordon's University, Aberdeen, United Kingdom, in the person of Ayodeji, Ologunmeta. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be with you today, and it's my pleasure to also answer some questions that you would be posing to me. It's nice to hear from you. Thank you, and thank you, listeners.
And it's nice having you here and hearing from you as well. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
So let's delve straight down into the discussion. First things first, let me ask, how do you feel about the emergence of this new coalition that is trying to unseat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu come 2027? What's your view on their emergence?
Well, I must say that it's a good thing for our democracy that there is now a seemingly formidable opposition. I call it seemingly because the foundation on which the whole coalition is laid is a little shaky, and in the coming days, months, and year, we would be seeing what they can do out of it. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a little bit what is expected of a democratic country, especially like ours, and owing to the fact that our democracy is still very young. So it's good to have the coalition on board, and at least this would make it look like democracy.
Make it look like democracy. Before there were fears of a one-party system and the multiple defections to the All Progressive Congress. When you saw those defections happening at first, what were your thoughts? Were you thinking that 2027 was done and dusted?
Well, you see, the truth of the matter is that about people who were jumping ships at that time, that those people we looked at as formidable figures in the Nigerian politics could not put their house in order. It's a surprising thing that these people are coming together based on different ideologies, different ambitions. I am hoping that they would be able to form the formidable force that they claim to be forming. But as for the defections, it's not so. It does not come to me as a surprise because it has always been like that since 1999 when Obasanjo was the president.
Was president, yeah.
When candidate of
the People's Democratic Party
and PDP, and Obasanjo betrayed a lot of them, and that kicked them out of office for their second term. So it's something that I expected, because people don't like to stay in a ship that is obviously wrecking. Nobody follows a bus that has no fuel. People will like to even follow a jalopin that has fuel, knowing fully well that at least, even if it will tear their clothes, it will take them to their destination.
But then, now the opposition coming and all those kind of things. People likes to. I think I like your analogy about the fact that people likes to go into a moving train, and that they can actually move with. Because I remember when Okowa, Ifeanyi Okowa, happens to be the former governor of Delta State and also the former vice presidential candidate of Atiku Abubakar, defecting to the APC, he made this same statement about the People's Democratic Party. But let me ask this question. When they were talking about coalition, I was expecting that the People's Democratic Party will be the spot for all of them to go to. But then ADC, and many of them still maintain their stance with PDP, APC, and the likes. Now, what can you even say about this downgrade of the PDP at this particular time?
Well, all praise to Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu, because he seemed to outsmart all of them as far as Nigerian politics is concerned. Probably he has paid enough attention to the pros and cons of the Nigerian democracy and political system, and he understands that everybody would like to associate with the winning team. You see, as for Atiku Abubakar and the PDP, well, I hope, because I was just seeing certain things on media this afternoon, and I saw that a lot of people are now going to him to greet him and to pay their loyalty and homage to him. You see, I want to tell you almost for free that just the way they were not able to manage the PDP, if they are not careful, if they don't subject their personal ambitions to common good, they might obviously not be able to stand well. But PDP is gone, and it's gone for good. We hope that ADC will be able to pull the miracle.
The miracle. You tell me it's a miracle. Actually, I have a miracle around here. So I don't know how is this going to be. But do you see? Now, let's talk strictly about politics here. Now, you talked about you hope. You've been talking about a bit of hope on the coalition party. Now, let me ask straight. What are your fears about this coalition? What is really making you a bit not cool enough with their coalition? Because I remember last week that Baba Ahmed was talking about the coalition actually. So what's your take on the occurrence? What are the fears you have for this coalition at this particular time?
Now, the first thing you must first look at is number one, what is it that has brought these people together? What exactly is the motive behind their coming together? Now, do they have the same ideology from the primary school political party definition that we all learned? That people who have common political ideology.
Ideologies, yeah.
Common political, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, if some people are now coming together without trying to fashion out a common ideology, just coming together because they seem not to like the man who is the president for now, will not make them get the day or act their way. For example, let me give you an example. Now, in 2007, the man called Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is today the president, had the opportunity to go to the Senate.
Yeah, true.
Dropped the ambition because he needed to foster unity in his party. If that time, if he had contested, he would have won.
Very true.
But the truth of the matter is that alone might have stopped him from becoming the president today. Because he would have won a lot of enemies for himself. Now, the same thing
to 2007.
He was the head of privatization of Obasanjo.
Yeah, true. I can't forget that.
And this man sold a national asset in the name of Asson that was invested with $3.3 billion.
As at that time.
250 million.
Ha!
Now, this man today is 78 years old. By the time this election will come up, he will be 80 years old. The man who is currently the interim chairman of the party that we call coalition today,
David Mark,
is 77 years old. He retired as a brigadier general. He was more or less like the man. He was the face, apart from Abiola.
Yeah.
And Kingibe, he was the face of SDP in their time. Now this man was also, for about 15 years or thereabouts, he was the Senate president.
Yeah.
Now let's leave him. Let's go to the man called Lamido, Sule Lamido. Let's go to Tommy Kimi. Let's go to Rotimi Amechi. Let's look at Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola. All of them at one time or the other had got the opportunity to change the face of Nigeria and contribute their quota to the betterment of the life of the citizen.
True.
But they failed.
Very, very true.
Now, because the man who is there today is not paying their bills, or probably is not doing what they want, they feel like the best bet is to push him out of power at all costs. And if they must push him out of power, they must get their calculations right first. A man who cannot govern his own home cannot govern a town.
Very
a man
true.
who cannot govern a town cannot govern a community. A man who cannot govern a community will not be able to govern a country. State. A man who is not able to put his state in order cannot put the country in order. Are you aware that Fitri does not even allow Atiku Abubakar to have his way even in Adamawa where he was born?
Yeah, he even stopped calling him Waziri Adamawa.
Now, the truth of the matter is that these guys are expired item in politics. But they don't realize it. But I feel that the citizens of Nigeria would be able to tell them and show them their place when the time comes. As for Obi is a popular candidate.
Very popular. Very, very
At
popular.
least looking at his performance in the last election. But my brother, there is no polling unit on social media. Nobody counts the number of comments as votes on Facebook. Nobody cares about how many followers Tunde Ednut has and count it as Obi's vote. Votes are always counted locally at the polling units. And let me tell you, the people might vote for you. Remember that this man, against all machination, I'm talking about Asiwaju now.
Yeah.
Against all machination, against all scheme, against all understanding of political calculation, he won the primaries of the APC, he won the general election. The Yoruba would say, Opata Afin Oyale,
Coming back to their life.
literally translated as the same cane that we use for the senior wife.
For the senior wife, he's coming back to the younger one.
I think this is Bimbo Ogunbe's perspective on this.
So you can't do the same thing the same way all the time and expect different answers or different results or outcomes. So all of them put together had the opportunity to etch their name in gold, but they failed when they had the opportunity. Maybe, like I said, if they can pull a miracle by first subjecting their ambitions to common good and allowing individual ambition to go and get the back seat while
All right, I want us to see it from another perspective. Speaking of moving from one political party to another, I feel like maybe there is something going on that is not made public for we Nigerians, because I just feel like it's not just possible for you to just wake up from your bed and just say, okay, I just want to change my political party, and it's not just one person, not just two persons. It keeps occurring from across all. You understand what I'm trying to say? Don't you think there is something going on that is not made public to everybody to see or to know from your own perspective?
You might be correct.
Okay.
You know why I say you might be correct?
Why?
Because politics is not the ones that we discussed on here like we are doing now. Politics is the one that we go to people's houses and places.
Private meetings.
Now, and politics is local.
Very local.
Politics is not the noise on media. It's not the noise on social media. It's not the noise in beer parlor. It's not the noise at nightclubs. It's not the one you discuss when you are watching Man U and Arsenal. Politics is the one you discuss with people when they can hear. And let me tell you, like I discussed earlier, that politics is the coming together of people who are having common ideology.
Yeah.
Now, you might not have my ideology, I might not have yours. But we can come together and say, okay, well, you like free education. I think me, I'm more of a capitalist. Now, how can we find common ground? And from there, we can work together. And don't let me deceive you that these people who have joined the APC joined on their frolics. They joined on free will. Nobody joined APC at gunpoint. And everybody will join a party that he knows that will win the next election.
Because everybody wants to be on the winning side.
Yes.
Because everybody wants to get to whatever ambition that he has, or realize whatever aspiration that he has. I can't be, because I want to form opposition, and go and join Labour Party in Ondo State. Because I know Labour Party cannot win House of Reps in Ondo State.
But they won governorship before in Ondo State.
Exactly.
Let us forget the noise. And for Rotimi Amechi, who is running around and saying he's hungry, he's deceiving the Nigerian people.
Okay.
Now, one thing I've discovered about the Nigerian people is that Nigerian people are very gullible. You can tell Nigerian man or woman that you have a house under the ocean.
And they will believe.
They will believe
And they will
automatically.
believe you. If Rotimi Amechi, who has been speaker for 8 years,
Governor for 8 years.
Who is in the history of the country, who is the most pampered speaker? Speaker was a speaker of the House of Assembly who was running a law program in UK.
Wow.
Now, somebody who was a governor for 8 years, who was a minister for 8 years, who is saying he's hungry. Are Nigeria supposed to even listen to him at all?
Yeah, he has feasted for 24 years.
You say what?
He has been feasting for 24 years.
For 24 years non-stop. And before that time, my brother, before that time, he was working closely with Odili, the former governor of Rivers State.
Yeah.
So he's not, and in his time, Nigeria was, in his time as minister for 8 years, of super minister, you know, the rail lines, that they were borrowing money and was printing money, subsidizing dollar.
23 trillion ways and means.
Killing the country, killing the economy. And such a man is now the messiah of our generation. But I am perceiving, I am smelling that there will be internal implosion in that their coalition. Because many of the young people in Nigeria are supporting that coalition because of Obi.
True.
The politicians, when I say the real politicians are supporting the coalition because of Atiku. Nasir El-Rufai has the ambition to be either vice can hear. Thank you.
Well, we'll get back to this. Actually, we'll get back to this. We'll get back to this in the next few minutes. But then let's take Go Start. After Go Start, we come back straight on Daybreak Africa, and we'll continue on this our discussion, because there's still a lot that we still need to discuss on this issue of the emergence of the coalition. So please stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the show. I hope you enjoyed Go Start. Now it's time to return back to our discussion today. And we've been discussing about the emergence of the coalition. It's been a very interesting discussion with Ayodeji, Ologunmeta. And yeah, you had said a lot of things about the coalition. You've said a lot of things about the fact that they could implode from within and all that, looking at the fact that the ambitions are not really, put ahead. But then you've been talking about ideology, and it's something that I've seen happen in Nigeria for quite some time. We remember in 2015 we had a coalition. 2013 actually, the coalition started, headed and spearheaded by Bola Ahmed Tinubu as at that particular year. And now that Bola Tinubu is the president of Nigeria, we are having another coalition, this time around against him. Now, what do you think is the difference with the coalition of that era and the coalition of now? Because we know then Bola Tinubu, Muhammad Buhari, Atiku Abubakar, who was also a part of that coalition, Nasir Rufai, we are also strong politicians as at that time. Now we're having a reverse case with Tinubu as president. What's your take? What do you think is the difference between then and now, to the point that then people believed more in their movement, and now we're having lots of doubts from different quarters within the country, even from within the coalition?
Thank you so much. Even those who are in the coalition are in doubt. And I will tell you why they are in doubt. Now, I am not trying to hold brief for the president, but I can tell you for free that the president already knew where he was going and knew how best he could become the president, and made sure that his personal ambition was put last on the list on the table. Now, the man was already building the coalition, sponsoring people instead to be governors. You cannot become president by just shouting around.
Very true.
You can only become president by having the right network to become president. And let me tell you, like you said, so that when I see you again, or you invite me to this your show again, you would not say, why is it like that? That Nigeria has become one party system. No. There are people in that party that will still leave that coalition to join the ruling party.
Really?
I am telling you for free. You know why? Because all of them went with an aspiration. The man who is saying he's hungry is not talking about hunger of food. He's talking about hunger for power. You know, when you are used to certain things, when you are used to it too much, you will be addicted to it. Rotimi Amechi has been addicted to power. So a man of 60 years who has been in the mainstream of, I'm not talking about when he was SA, I'm not talking about when he was secretary, I'm talking about he has been in the mainstream
of governance
of power for consecutive 24 years. So that kind of man is already used to power. If anything will happen in that coalition, he will want to grab a position. The man too, Nasir Rufai, who is the grand commander, allegedly, anyways,
of the coalition,
the grand commander of all the machinations of banditry in Nigeria, and the slayer of the Southern Kaduna people. Are you not surprised that suddenly there are no killings like it used to be in Southern Kaduna? Because he's no more the governor. The man only drives where there is problem. And I don't know why people can trust Nasir Rufai. Have you forgotten that Nasir Rufai was appointed as a minister
Yeah, he was appointed as Minister of Obasanjo. He was also a minister with Jonathan.
Do you know that this man betrayed Obasanjo? Betrayed Jonathan? And that is why somebody like Asiwaju was wise enough to make sure that he kicked him out.
From being...
And he was not the one. Don't let me say Asiwaju was the one who kicked him out. It was the National Assembly that did not clear him. But as a Nigerian, and as somebody who knows the history of politics, I knew that it has meaning. Because the best way for you to avoid an implosion is to make sure that you don't put a mole in your team. And that is the best way to wage external war away. Because if you have a team that is cohesive enough, it will be difficult for people to penetrate. Nasir El-Rufai is a proved betrayer. And because he's a proved betrayer, nobody wants to keep him in his team. So all of them came to that coalition with an ambition. It's different from the coalition that we had during the Buhari regime. In 2014, people subjected, in fact, before they formed the coalition, they already decided that Buhari was going to be the presidential candidate.
Yeah, true.
They already concluded. So now everybody puts their ambition,
aside,
their ambition down for Buhari's ambition. And it was from that point that the Nigerian people knew that these people are serious. You know where the problem will start? When they begin to choose people who will be even the officers of the party. Don't forget that the coalition that they are using itself, the legitimacy of that coalition will still be tried in court.
Very true.
Because people who are already in the party were not carried along.
Yeah, we saw some of them complain. Even their former leadership.
All the big political leaders who failed in PDP, those who failed in APC, those who failed in Labour Party, took the center stage and put people who were building their party from scratch, put them behind. People who registered the party. That is not the way coalition was. So that is why I said the kind of coalition we had in 2014 is different from the kind of coalition we are having now. Like I said, probably Obi we pull out at the end of the day and we continue with his obedient movement. Unfortunately, obedience is not a party and Labour Party is gone too.
Because we saw what the Labour Party officials are telling him actually recently.
I'm telling you, Labour Party is gone too. I just hope that he would find a party where he would be able to exert his leadership. Obi cannot manage Labour Party. I don't know why the young people believe that that kind of man will be able to manage Nigeria. You see, our people sometimes, I say they are gullible. They are gullible because they put emotion ahead of reasoning. And because the politicians know that we are emotional, that's why you see, if anybody wants to ask a politician, what are the things that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president has done that is the problem? Why do you want to oust him? He will tell you that everybody is hungry. All he's doing is appealing to the sentiment and the emotion of the people.
Without actually giving a solution.
Because they don't have the solution, my brother, because they have been there. None of them is a new gen. None of them. No, not a single one. Dino, who mention one person who is a new face in the pitch, who is a new blood in the game.
All have been in the game before.
Who has no back
They know how
that
it's
is
going.
carrying. So that is why I am saying that, well, it is good to have seemingly in quotes opposition, an opposition that looks like an opposition, but is the opposition really opposing?
But then I want to look at something, but
Right.
because one of them was I was watching when they started talking. I remember Bolaji Abdullahi himself, kicking off the start-off pitch. It was even good seeing Bolaji Abdullahi and the former AGF of the nation in the person of Abubakar Malami. And they were all there talking about some of the policies of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that's not working for the people. They talked about the issue of the fuel subsidy and the fact that they've not found a solution to a lasting solution to cushioning its effects on the Nigerian people. They talked a lot about even the forex, the issue of the forex disparities, devaluing the naira or floating the naira, like they claim, and all those things.
People like Malami will not be happy. You know why?
Why?
People like Malami, he was a minister for 8 years, for goodness sake.
8 years, yeah, as Attorney General of the Federation.
The Attorney General of the Federation, my brother. Malami was part of those people who were approving, because do you know, let me tell you, according to the Constitution of Nigeria,
Okay.
do you know the Attorney General is the head of all the ministers? According to the Constitution of the country. Attorney General is the head of the, if you take the president, apart from the secretary, is more or less is the head of all the ministers, because he deals with law. Now, Malami was in the meeting where Buhari, let us say Buhari was a little not educated. But how on earth would you say Malami was there and FEC was approving the printing of naira indiscriminately?
And the AGF, it was seated.
I'm telling you. So such a man now, you know what they do? While they were printing money and subsidizing dollar, he will talk about it because it's his business. You know why I said it's his business? It's his business because these people will buy the dollar from the central bank for 600, 400 naira. They will go and sell it 1,200 naira. So the meaning is that if you buy $1 million, just today, if you buy $1 million today, and you take it to the market, to the black market, to sell for just 1,200.
That means you're gaining almost 80% or 50 or 70.
That means you're gaining 100%. It's not 80, it's 100.
100, yeah, 600 to 1,2. That's 100%.
1,200 is 100%.
So from $1 million, you're getting another $1 million added to it. That's $2 million.
I'm telling you. So
Wow.
Cool cash.
Just imagine that they are doing that. Now they were taking that forex. They were taking our money. They were taking it to the black market. You cannot find the dollar in our commercial banks again. Yet you are seeing it with their bookies.
They always have it.
They always have it.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So people now that was why they cancel. You know, before, if you want to go to school abroad, you go to the bank, you fill your form, they give you BTA. You just take your naira to the place. But right now, just recently that Asiwaju has said they should begin it. They have to cancel it because the money is no more there. Now, so that is his business. He will talk about the forex. He will talk about subsidy because it's no more on the table. The feeding bottle is no more in his mouth. Somebody has snapped it out of his mouth, and that is why he's complaining about that. Let them bring something else to the table, something that is actually affecting the Nigerian people. But as far as I'm concerned, I just hope that they will do what they have said. That let us even have a coalition first before we start talking about whether they have the capacity to push Asiwaju out of power. Let us say that they have even put their house in order, and everybody has now subjected their personal ambitions to the common good.
Now, let's look at something quickly before we gradually round off on this. Someone made a comment last week. I was saying it on Twitter, and they were saying the coalition got themselves one of the biggest wigs in Nigerian politics that can actually defeat Jagaban in the person of Egboni Ralph Aregbesola, talking about their relationships together from Lagos, where they worked together in Lagos. Even before Ralph Aregbesola became a governor in Osun State, they have been best friends in politics. Then they lost their relationship around 2022 due to 2021-2022 due to disparities on who was going to be governor of Osun State and all that. Now, looking at that analogy from people, saying that Aregbesola knows the in and out of Tinubu's political trickery and all that. Now, do you think with Ralph Aregbesola, especially in the Southwest, they still stand a chance? Or let me ask, honestly, looking at the lineup of the coalition, do you think that, let's even forget, maybe let's even assume that they are able to come together with their ideologies and all that, but with the amount of actors in the coalition right now, do you think in any light that they have the potentials to unseat Bola Ahmed Tinubu come 2027?
I just reel out to you the profile of those people who are these so-called bigwigs, the actors, like you called it, of the coalition. I have not seen anybody here in their own right. They are politicians. But tell me one of them that has a governor at the moment, one governor that will follow him. Just one. I'm talking about just one.
Well, none.
That was why, you know, when we started, I said, let us see how things unfold in coming weeks. Now, because I don't want to assume that there won't be at all. But, like I mentioned, that politics is local. Now, all the photo ops, all the press conferences and press releases does not win an election. It is serious hard work to the grassroots. I think that is what I want to see them do first, before I can now give comments whether they have the capacity to take over government or not. But as far as I can see right now, they are joking and they are not serious yet. And until I see that they are serious, then they can have my comment.
All right, so what can you say, in a nutshell, what can you say about 2027 election? Because some people are saying that it's a done deal. Some people have the mindset that things can still change, even with the ongoing thing that is going on in the political body right now. So from your own perception, what can you say about 2027 election?
About who will win, or about what exactly?
The whole process, winning and all that.
Let me tell you that Nigeria is really evolving, and our politics is growing. There won't be violence. And I can assure you that the process will be free, will be fair, will be credible. The winner is going to emerge, definitely, and there will be a lot of dramas, just like we had in 2023. People are already coming out with drama, from the Chicago certificate to we don't know his mother, to we don't know his father.
We should get ready for more episodes.
To Peter Obi is the Messiah. To Waziri Atiku Abubakar is the best thing after sliced bread. All these things will come up. But I can assure you that the process will be free, will be fair, will be credible, and the winner will emerge. And I don't want to forge my opinion on people. So I have my candidate, and I believe that if things are done properly, well, a winner will emerge, and Nigeria will move forward, just like we have moved from that point that we were in 2023 to where we are today. And I know that things will get better.
Things will get better. Let me just ask this, just out of curiosity. Now, someone talked about the 2023 election results. 8 points, it's over 8 million for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And if we calculate in combination the results from the opposition, it was close to 14 million. and which was the reason why many of them talked about coming together at the coalition. You know, Article 6 million, Obi 6 million, Kwankaso's numbers too as well. Though we don't know what Kwankaso is going to do right now. Though there are likely chances that even Kwankaso himself will switch to the APC, the way things are going as we speak. But then, looking at it, do you think, especially the obedience movement, do you think they still have that momentum like 2023?
Now, a lot of things have changed. A lot of our young people have seen more than they saw in 2023. Some of them have grown. Some of them have understand what politics is. Some of them are still with Obi. Some of them have moved on. In fact, some of them who spent their money have come back to their business and said they are not going to spend their money on politics. And some of them still trust that the process, if thoroughly followed, can make Obi emerge. If all of us, whatever category we belong, can continue to believe in the process, well, I hope that the winner, who is credibly the winner of the election, will emerge. But as for the followers of Peter Obi, well, I know that Obi might pull out of the coalition if he's not given the ticket. And as of today, from the feelers that I have and from the ups and optics that I can also see, I can tell you that they might probably say Obi should come and be vice president. And if they say Obi should come and be vice president, his followers will reduce in number. Of course, all of them cannot follow through.
With that,
whether he's the vice president, that they will follow him. So he would have a reduced followership. And Abubakar is strong in the north, no doubt. And you know the love of the Northerners for their brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, very true.
I can assure you that if we trust the process, a winner will emerge. And the election will also be very credible. And by the grace of God, Nigeria, that's my belief, that Nigeria has grown from where we were in 2023, now in 2025, by 2027 too, we will be better than we are today.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Ayodeji, for being a part of this segment. Really appreciate this discussion with you.
Thank you so very much.
And shedding light a bit on everything happening with the emergence of the coalition and all that. And we hope that with time we will get to discuss more on this particular program.
There's no problem.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you, my lady. God bless you. I can't remember your name
Miracle.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's good to speak with you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. So.
All right. Bye.
Bye. So right about now it's time to take sports. We've had a lot of from the discussions and all that. So it's time to take sport. And after we're done with sport, we come back here to share our goodbyes on Daybreak Africa. So please stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the show. I hope you enjoyed the sports actually, and I hope you enjoyed our discussions and everything we've done today. But then it's time to say our goodbyes. Wonderful discussions with Ayodeji actually. I think to a very large extent, looking at this coalition of the thing, I'm not being pessimistic. I've heard everything everybody is saying. From my own perspective, I'm just talking from my own perspective. Okay. I think to a large extent, 2027 is 80% done.
Oh, now he's agreeing with me. Okay. Now you're agreeing with me, really?
No, honestly, before it was on 65%.
But now
I think 80% is done.
For me, unless 95%.
95%?
Yes, for me.
Why do you say 95%?
Because look at everything that is even up. Okay, we know that 2027 is still very kind of far. Yeah. But with the way things are being planned, it's like a trap.
No, honestly, it's going to take something extremely nasty. Like maybe a revolution or maybe heavy protest to take away the current government. And I don't really see that happening unless if there is a sabotage somewhere.
Even if there is.
Which I don't doubt the desperation of politicians actually though. But even if there is,
This Nigeria.
do you know why my faith is not much on the coalition? Not as if I don't like the fact that there is a coalition now.
Okay.
I don't like the fact that many of them there are too hungry for power, and I don't see any of them willing to sheath their sword to let the other one just go ahead with it. Here is the thing. Amechi is hungry for power. He wants to be that president or vice president. Atiku, extremely hungry for power. Dati Baba Ahmed was saying this recently on a TV interview, that he's extremely hungry for power, and we know the dollar is going to fly when it's the primary elections. Peter Obi, the darling of the obedient, is also there, hungry for power. I'm very sure of the fact that he will either he will want to fight for presidency or go for vice presidential spot. There is a whole lot. David Mark is there, many of them. Well, let's still see. It's still left to see. It's still left to see. But then I feel it's going to be a long walk to their freedom, actually.
Honestly.
But that's what they say with Steve Farr. We'll keep bringing you updates and all that. But we'll meet next time, which is tomorrow on Daybreak Africa. My name still remains Ayodeji.
My name is Miracle Odunayo.
Bye, guys.